Slipping away. Let me still exist in another place, running on the cover of a helicopter blade. Flames are getting higher in effigy, burning down the bridges of my memory. Love may still be alive somewhere, somewhere, where they're down and only dear 100 steel towns away. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with the words I love you rolling off my tongue. No, never will I roam, for I know my place is home, where the ocean meets the sky. I'll be sailing. Photographs, kerosene, light up my darkness light it up, light it up, light it up. I can still feel a touch of your thin blue jeans running down the alley. I got my eyes all over you, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, the rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum. With the words I love you rolling off my tongue. No, never will I roam, for I know my place is home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. I'll be sailing. Ah, yeah. Oh, I got lightning in my veins, sweating like the halo of a slot machine. Lovely still exists in another place. I'm just yanking back the handle, no expression on my face. The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum. With the words I love you rolling off my tongue. Oh, never will I roam, for I know my place is home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum. With the words I love you rolling off my tongue. No, never will I roam, for I know my place is home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing. The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum. The words I love you rolling off my tongue. Never will I roam, for I know my place is home. Where the ocean meets the sky, I'll be sailing.
The watch is over, the radio is quiet, the badge is laid to rest. But the courage, the kindness, the quiet acts of service, those are never taken off. They remain in the hearts of those who were protected, those who were loved, and those who were privileged to walk beside you. Today, we honour not only the officer, but the husband, the father, the grandfather, the mate. Duty may have shaped your life, but love defined it. Rest now, Rudi. Your work is done. Good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Wotherspoon, and on behalf of Callie and the Parkside team, I am honoured to be leading this celebration of the life of Rudolf Johannes de Vries, known and loved by everyone simply as Rudi. On behalf of Rudi's daughters, Heather, Renee, Hayley, their families, and Rudi's dear friend Dot, I warmly welcome each one of you and thank you for being here today. To those who've travelled from near and far, thank you very much for making the journey. A special welcome also to everyone joining us through the live stream, particularly Rudi's family and friends in Holland, where his story first began, and other loved ones who are watching from mainland Australia. Although miles separate us today, you are very much part of this farewell. We have gathered with many different emotions. There is sadness because someone deeply loved is no longer physically with us. There is gratitude because we have been privileged to know him. And if Rudi had anything to say about it today, I suspect he'd also hope that there would be laughter, because so many of the memories he leaves behind simply cannot be told without smiling. Today is not about pretending life was perfect, because life rarely is. Instead, it's about honouring a life honestly. It's about remembering a man who was respected not because he demanded respect, but because he gave it so freely to others. A man who loved his family. A man who loved people. A man who loved camping, cricket, practical jokes, travelling, finding a bargain, wandering through Bunnings, and spending time with the people who mattered most. A man who spent more than 40 years quietly serving the people of Tasmania as a police officer, yet never sought recognition for doing so. He was, quite simply, Rudi. And today we celebrate that life. We give thanks for it. And today we say thank you for the memories. There are some people whose lives are measured by promotions, titles, or public recognition, but Rudi wasn't one of these people. His life was measured differently, in conversations, in friendships, in family camping holidays, and in practical jokes, in cricket matches, in grandchildren's sporting events, in quiet acts of service, and in more than 40 years of simply getting on with the job that he loved. As I listened to Rudi's family sharing their memories, one picture emerged over and over again. He was genuine. There were no airs or graces, no desire to impress anyone, no interest in climbing the ladder simply because it was there. He knew who he was. He knew what mattered. And he remained true to himself throughout his life. Perhaps that's why so many people found him easy to like. He treated people with kindness. He treated people with respect, and in return, they respected him. So the true measure of Rudi's life isn't found in the medals we see here or in promotions. It's found in the stories that will be shared today. Stories that reveal a devoted father, a proud granda, a loyal friend, and a dedicated police officer. A man who could knit school jumpers one day and direct traffic the next. Someone who believed every camping trip deserved a television set so that the cricket could be watched. Someone who thought the safest seat on an aeroplane was right at the back, because after all, you never hear of a plane backing into a mountain. That was Rudi. Honest, practical, funny, entirely himself, and entirely unforgettable. He did give so much of his life serving the people of Tasmania. That was the police officer so many knew. But every police officer eventually hangs up the uniform at the end of the day. Beyond the badge was that much-loved family man. Much-loved father to Heather, Hayley and Renee, and granda, who delighted in the lives of his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He really was a man of many talents. The parts that stayed with me after being with the family was the practical joker, the master bargain hunter, and someone whose grandchildren became convinced that every time they passed a Bunnings store, that was one of Grandpa's homes. Today's eulogy has been lovingly written by his daughter Heather, and I invite her to come forward and share it. Thank you, Heather. There's water under there. Okay.
Rudolf Johannes de Vries, known by all as Rudi, was born on the 4th of May, 1949, in Utrecht, Holland, the first son of Wilhelmus, known as Bill, and Maria, known as Riet de Vries. Bill and Riet immigrated to Australia in 1952, when Rudi was just 3 years old. The lure of job security due to Australia's post-war work shortages drew them here. The long passage by sea took many weeks aboard the MV Fair Sea. Bill was a skilled bricklayer. He worked on many government building projects along Tassie's northwest coast, including police stations and schools. Bill often worked away from home while Riet cared for their growing family. But every time Riet came home from the hospital with another baby sister, Rudi was a little disappointed. Finally, after a very long wait, a baby brother joined the family. Bill and Riet raised Rudi, Louise, Fiona, Anthea and Ramon in their home at Devonport. Early life in Australia did have its challenges. When Rudi was a youngster, he had been cautioned about the evils of swearing and refused to go back to Sunday school because of all the Jesus Christs getting thrown around. Rudi would also have to act as a translator to help Bill and Riet get by. Rudi was deeply saddened at the unexpected loss of his father when only 53. Rudi continued a close relationship with his mother, who passed peacefully at 87. Following completion of Rudi's education, he joined Tasmania Police Force at the age of 16. Being a policeman was all he ever wanted to do. There are many stories about Rudi's 40 years of service, but we'll get to that shortly. Outside of work, Rudi had many interests. He was a motorsports nut. He loved train travel and planes, but most of all, the cricket was his passion. Oh, and Bunnings. As a newly graduated constable, Rudi found himself deployed to Scottsdale. This explains how I came to be here, standing here before you today. A fair young lass by the name of Dorothy from Scottsdale caught Rudi's attention while jaywalking. Long story short, this resulted in marriage, 3 daughters, me, Renee and Hayley, 13 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren, and we're still counting. Of course, no life story is complete without its share of heartbreak and loss. But all in all, Rudi remained devoted to his family. He invested much of his time attending the girls' activities, helping with props at calisthenics, beach marshalling with the surf club, cheering them on at netball games. If only they played cricket. Rudi served as president of Leyland Christian School Parent and Friends Association and the School Fair Committee, and was also an active member in the Zeehan Lions Club for many years. Rudi's love of cricket and motorsports often framed day-to-day life. When Bathurst was on, the lounge chair and the phone were placed quite specifically to avoid missing a crash. The Boxing Day test was like his religion. It's extended to any game, Benson and Hedges' old 50-50s, the Big Bash, and more recently he even became a great fan of the women's Australian cricket team. Camping trips were common. Think Leyland Brothers style. Car, canoe, trailer loaded to the max, plus another car loaded with a dinghy. As a man who couldn't be outdone, the Australia Day flag competition was born. This involved the winner flying the highest flag in the campground, ensuring that the Poms flag paled into insignificance. Rudi went to unparalleled effort and always won. You may be surprised to learn that Rudi was a fine knitter, even showcasing his knitting machine skills at shopping centres. He made jumpers for himself and all the family. There are many stories of the pranks and practical jokes Rudi played. Some of the more memorable involve him diving off the sofa every time the Samboy, the flavour really hits you, ad came on the telly, and God forbid if you happened to be lying on the floor at the time the ad came on. Ears were never safe. He always seemed to get people when they least expected it with a wet willy. Presents were often carefully wrapped in such a way that the receiver could suffer hours of waning anticipation as the gift became smaller and smaller and smaller. Northwest Mowers had an ongoing tit-for-tat relationship with Rudi. If they sent him an invoice, it was usually covered in numerous past due stickers just to wind him up. In retaliation, Rudi went to great effort getting 1 cent and 2 cent coins from the bank to pay the bill. On the day of payment, he arrived about 5 minutes before closing, quite deliberately. But unfortunately, on this occasion, his prank famously backfired when the freezer bag holding the coins was broke when he took it out of his pocket, resulting in coins spreading everywhere. Rudi's enjoyment in amusing people spilled over into his police work. While working on traffic cameras at Christmas, he situated a camera prominently and decorated it loudly with a Santa hat and stocking. He couldn't believe how many drivers were still caught despite the warning. One of Rudi's more memorable scalps occurred during Targa, Tasmania. He couldn't believe it, he caught Peter Brock speeding. He sent the fine to Brocky, who autographed it and sent it back. Don't get the wrong idea though. Rudi went to great lengths to protect the image of Tasmania Police. He demonstrated this when de-identifying his police car by removing lights and stickers after rolling the car following a mishap on black ice one morning. But the job had its perks. Being out on the road often allowed for school drop-offs and pickups or transport to the girls' after-school activities. Although, if he wasn't in the area, Rudi would not hesitate to ask a favour from another officer to step in. The girls report having Tasmania Police taxi service a little bit embarrassing, but eventually got used to it. Notably, according to Commissioner McCready, Rudi broke the record for meal break allowance claims. Following retirement, Rudi was fortunate enough to tick off several items on his bucket list. This included travel on the Garn Railway, Indian Pacific, Spirit of Outback train trips, and also the Antarctica in-a-day excursion aboard Qantas's 787 Dreamliner. Rudi told me that it felt like he could have touched heaven above, and hopefully whatever awaits measures up. No doubt Rudi will be remembered for all his crazy antics, dry sense of humour, and always being up for a laugh. Rudi was regarded by many at work as a good bloke. He always said, "You either like me or you don't." As for our family, we will remember him for always being there, with the door ready and wide open. He will be dearly missed and always remembered. And just on a personal note, I wanted to say that it's hard to adequately express how much Rudi meant to me. But I feel he deserves recognition for the love and light he shone on my life. I remember the joy, anticipation and raw nerves felt on our first meeting when we reunited some 36 years ago. Over time, we formed a wonderful relationship. I feel blessed to have had Rudi in my life. I'm glad and better for it that he shared Dot's desire to find me. I want to thank him for his love, not only for me, but all my children. I will treasure great chats, the endless cups of tea, coffee and sweets. Rudi's passion for cars, motorsport, planes and trains was never lost on me. We actually had quite a lot in common. Every time I received a phone call or text to let me know a program was on the telly he knew I'd be interested in, it warmed my heart because it was nice to know that he thought of and remembered me. I'm going to miss those calls and messages very much. The chocolate letters every child and grandchild received yearly at Christmas were another example of how much he cared for all of us. Rudi always had a funny story for me, and I'll miss those. You have been good to me, Rudi, and I will always remember you for the open door and open heart. Rest easy. Thank you.
Well done, Heather. Your eulogy told the story of Rudi's life, and then your tribute added that more personal touch, which is just beautiful. Tributes are memories that don't really appear in any official record anywhere, and there are usually stories that become family legends. There is another tribute this morning, and I invite Chloe to come forward and share hers now. Chloe and the family.
Okay. I've got a whole party with me. I'm Chloe, Granda's eldest granddaughter. Thank you for coming today. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the pain of losing Granda so suddenly. I don't think I can truly express the grief that my mother, aunts and siblings are all experiencing. I wanted to talk today, not only to work through my own grief, but I want you to see him the way I did and share a piece of his life with you. When I think of Granda and all the countless memories we shared, they all took place in his home. I'm not sure if you had the pleasure of visiting Granda's house, but since many memories took place there, I'd like to paint you a picture. Granda lived on a hill. His home had a view of the ocean. At some point or another, we've all gotten the binoculars out and tried to catch a glimpse of a passing by ship or the occasional rare whale. His porch was large and had plenty of room for dancing or laying in the sun drawing. His porch led right into the living area and his computer was right by the door, and it had a flight tracker open at all times, looking for the latest Airbus flying by. But I still remember when I was a child, I used to sneak out and hop on his computer to play Hangaroo or Solitaire. I'm not sure if he truly knew how rebellious I was, or maybe he knew about my secret adventures at 6 a.m. and was just happy to have me there. Next to his computer was a set of couches, and in the middle was his rocking chair. We have gathered in this room countless times, from birthdays to Christmases, with his tiny little Christmas tree. You think it, we celebrated it there. But the living room was also a place where we would have quiet catch-ups with never-ending cups of tea or coffee, which the grandchildren had to provide. Behind the couches was his dining area. Of course, he had a model plane flying above it, which the grandbabies actually absolutely loved. It doesn't feel that long ago that it was me sitting at that table, waiting for the best bowl of porridge. At family events, the table was usually filled to the brim with food, salads, platters, and of course, boiled eggs. I'm not sure why Granda was so insistent that we had boiled eggs at every occasion, but now I think we have to have them. The kitchen was always busy, from Granda getting down the special stash of chocolates for the great-grandchildren, or one of my siblings filling the dishwasher, or the food prep that comes with having at least 10 plus people in the house at all times. Or maybe someone was just trying to catch a moment of peace amongst the family chaos. The backyard had a big barbecue, which Granda was very fond of. His job was manning the barbecue. No matter how many times I offered to take over cooking, he was insistent that he do it. I'm going to miss his stubborn ways. I remember rolling my eyes, wondering why he didn't just accept the help. But now reflecting, I think he just enjoyed being able to provide and feel needed. The backyard had apple trees, and it was our job to go and collect as many as we could. Even if they had wormholes, I would still put them in my bag, so I had the most. Upon writing this, I am thinking that maybe he wanted a moment of peace from my chatter, but that will remain a mystery. Granda had a workshop in his garage. Now, the last few years it had been gathering dust, but there was once a time that that's where you would find him, or Bunnings, as has been mentioned. He loved Bunnings. Granda once spent weeks making a wooden chair set and table for his grandbabies. This table is still used every single day, and I think it will last until I die. It's that sturdy. Thankfully, he made 4 seats. Maybe he knew I was going to have 4 babies. We'll never know. Of course, this doesn't paint a whole picture, and I can't stand here and retell every memory or the countless lessons he's taught me, but I hope I have given you a window into how I loved and treasured him, that the little moments all add up, and how he was always there for every award ceremony, performance, or running carnival. How I wish I could create more memories, how I wish his great-grandchildren got to have more time with him. But I am given a small light at the end of the tunnel because I have the privilege of sharing his memories, so he'll never be forgotten. And I get to see a small piece of him grow with my children. I see him in Ariel's stubbornness, but also in her generosity. Granda was always giving things out to help his family out, from stand mixes to barbecues or freshly baked bread. That bread was the best, by the way. In Flynn, I see his love of photos. Flynn can sit for hours and look through photos, just like Granda did. Flynn also loves cars, not in the sitting and watching them going around the track kind of way, but he loves model cars. In Felix, I see Granda's cheekiness. Granda loved pulling people's leg. He'll just try about everything to get a rise out of you. But one day, I also see Granda in his love of trains. He isn't quite ready for the high-speed trains yet, but one day I can see him taking trips just as Granda did. As for baby Quinn, I can't quite know yet, but I look forward to seeing the reminders of Granda as she grows. Thank you for listening.
Well done, Chloe. Thank you for sharing those beautiful memories. Daughter Renee has chosen a beautiful poem to share with us today, When Tomorrow Starts Without Me. Thank you, Renee. I'll read it from here.
when tomorrow starts without me. When tomorrow starts without me and I'm not here to see. If the sun should rise and find your eyes, all tears with me, or filled with tears for me. I wish you wouldn't cry the way you did today while thinking of the many things we did not get to say. I know how much you love me as much as I love you. Each time that you think of me, I know I'll miss you too. When tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand. The angel said my place was ready in heaven far above, and that I'd have to leave behind all those I dearly love. But when I walked through heaven's gates, I felt so much at home when God looked down and smiled at me from his golden throne. He said, "This is eternity, and all I promised you, for today my life on earth is done, but here it starts anew. I promise no tomorrow, for today will always last. And since each day is the exact same way, there is no longing for the past. So when tomorrow starts without me, do not think we're apart. For every time you think of me, remember I'm here in your heart."
Thank you, Renee. Beautiful choice of poem. So as we have heard, much of Rudi's adult life was spent wearing the blue uniform for Tasmania Police. His call sign was 451. It became a familiar number to generations of police officers and to many within the community. Yet what perhaps says the most about Rudi is this: he remained a first-class constable throughout his career, not because he lacked ability, not because opportunities weren't there, but because promotion simply wasn't what motivated him. He loved being where the people were. He believed good policing wasn't just about enforcing the law, it was about listening, being fair, stopping for a conversation, treating every person with dignity. The young people of Burnie knew that if Rudi stopped to speak with them, it wasn't always because they had done something wrong. Sometimes he simply wanted to know how they were going and what they were doing. He understood something that cannot be taught in a training manual. If you treat people with respect, they are far more likely to respect you in return. That was Rudi's way, and it made him not only a respected police officer, but a respected man. I now invite Sue Marshall, representing the Police Association, to come forward and pay tribute to Rudi's years of dedicated service. Thank you, Sue.
My name's Sue Marshall, and I'm a retired police officer and a member of the Retired Police Association of Tasmania. I won't refer to that out in full again, but simply call it RPAT. Rudi was also a member of RPAT and has been for a number of years. He joined RPAT on the 10th of October 2006. He retired from Tasmania Police on the 27th of February 2006 after 40 years of service. I've known Rudi for more years than I care to think about, both as a personal friend and also as a work colleague. Rudi always had a smile on his face, always had a smile for everybody, always had time for people. He was always ready for a chat to anybody and about anything. He was a devoted father to his children and his grandchildren, and many a times I've had discussions with him about that, and Rudi can't be proud enough of his children. Rudolf Johann de Vries, born on the 4th of May 1949, joined Tasmanian Police on the 17th of February 1966. Badge number 451. We don't hear many with just 3 numbers anymore. I don't think Rudi would answer to his real name. He'd think, who's that person? He's always been Rudi, just Rudi. I'm going to go through Rudi's service history with Tasmania Police. He joined Tasmania Police on 17th February 1966. He was a probationary constable. He progressed to the rank where he retired of a first-class constable, 2nd grade. In 1966, he was stationed at Burnie. He went to Devonport. In 68, he was in Hobart. In 1968, he also went to Launceston and Devonport. So it was a very busy year that year for him. In 1971, he went to Strathgordon. In 1973, he went to Launceston. In 1974, St Mary's. 1977, Burnie. 1996, he went to Zion. And in 1999, he went to Traffic, which is Burnie Traffic, where he was till he retired. And I think we all know Rudi, whether he was face-to-face with us or whether he wasn't in that little speed camera car. In 1997, there was a letter of appreciation to Rudi regarding his efforts over a lost fishing boat in the West Coast, where a person lost their life. He was described in his annual performance review as a reliable constable who shows initiative in his work and good public relations. And I think any of us and all of us here that have worked with Rudi and know Rudi knows that he's just a good, solid person in the background there, always can be relied on. On behalf of the President and members of the RPAT, I express my condolences to Rudi's family. I now ask, if you're able to, can you please stand for the reading of the Police Ode. As the sun surely sets, dawn will see it arise. For service above self demands its own prize. You have fought the good fight, life's race has been run, and peace your reward, for eternity begun. And we that are left shall never forget. Rest in peace, friend and colleague, for the sun has now set. We will remember you, Rudi de Vries. We will remember him. Hasten the dawn. I now ask everybody to have a minute's silence for Rudi. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Sue. Photographs have a remarkable way of slowing time. They capture moments that may have slipped quietly into the past, only to come alive again in an instant. As the photographs now appear on the screen, you'll see Rudi throughout the many chapters of his life. Most of all, you'll see the smiles, the ordinary moments, the everyday memories that together became an extraordinary life. Let's take a few moments now to remember Rudi through this collection of treasured photographs.
Soul to bleed. Some
Beautiful collection of memories. Very special. So we've heard the stories, we've seen the photographs, we've smiled and maybe even shed a few tears. The family are now going to place flowers and say their quiet goodbyes. While that happens, I invite you to reflect on the place that Rudi held in your life, in your heart, and the memories that you will keep of him.
Solo sogno all'orizzonte, mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce nella stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me. Sulle finestre mostra il tutto il mio cuore che hai acceso.
And so now we must say goodbye to the little Dutch boy who arrived in Australia at the age of 3 and made Tasmania his home. He grew up here, he raised his family here, he served communities across the state for 40 years. Rudi found joy in ordinary things, and perhaps that's exactly the point. Life isn't really built from extraordinary moments. It's built from thousands of ordinary ones shared with people we love. Those are the moments that become family. Those are the moments we remember. And those are the moments that we're going to miss. When someone we love dies, it's natural to ask ourselves, what remains? For Rudi, the answer isn't found, as I said earlier, in medals or possessions. It lives in every person that he treated with respect. Every family holiday that still raises a smile. Every story that will be told and retold. Every grandchild who remembers Granda cheering them on. Every police officer who remembers walking alongside him. Every friend who remembers a quiet conversation. Every bargain that somehow reminds someone of Rudi. And perhaps from today onwards, every time someone wanders through the aisles of Bunnings and catches themselves smiling because they suddenly think, Rudi would have loved this, what a bargain he could have made. Those are the quiet footprints of a life so well lived. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we must say that final farewell. Would you all please stand? Every journey eventually reaches its destination. Today, Rudi's journey reaches its earthly end. We cannot keep those we love forever. As much as we wish we could, there comes a time when love asks us to do one final selfless thing, to let go. Not of our memories and not of our love, but of our need to hold on. So now, with sadness but also with deep gratitude, we commend Rudi into our memories, into our stories, into the love of all who knew him. May we carry forward the very best of him, his loyalty, his humour, his quiet generosity, his fairness and his devotion to his family, and above all, the respect he showed to every person whose path he crossed. 451, your work is done. The notebook can be closed. The radio call falls silent. The shift is over. Farewell, Rudi. Thank you, and rest peacefully. On behalf of Heather and Hayley and Renee and the entire family, thank you so much for being here this morning. Your presence is a great comfort and a wonderful tribute to Rudi's life. The family now warmly invites you to stay for morning tea, an opportunity to continue sharing your stories. So as we prepare to leave, I leave you with this timeless word of blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, May God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm nothing special. In fact, I'm a bit of a bore. If I tell a joke, you've probably heard it before. But I have a talent, a wonderful thing, 'cause everyone listens when I start to sing. I'm so grateful and proud. All I want is to sing it out loud. So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. Mother says I was a dancer before I could walk. She says I began to sing long before I could talk. And I've often wondered, how did it all start? Who found that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can? Well, whoever it was, I'm a fan. So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. I've been so lucky. I am the girl with golden hair. I wanna sing it out to everybody. What a joy, what a life, what a chance. Thank you for